If your home workouts have started to feel boring, like you'd rather check your phone instead of getting started, I want you to know that's not a motivation problem, it's a design problem. And the reason it matters is this. Most guys who hit that wall, they end up quitting right before the fat loss and muscle definition that they're working towards starts showing up. Not because home workouts don't work, but because they weren't fixing what was making their workouts boring. The good news, it's a pretty simple fix. In this video, I'm going to show you what actually makes your home workouts feel fresh again without needing new equipment or a brand new workout program. And I've got a bonus tip at the end that I think is genuinely the most underrated and important thing you can do. Limited equipment, limited space, that's the reality of training at home. And for most guys, that's exactly where the boredom starts. Fewer exercise options means doing the same movements week after week until the whole routine starts to feel repetitive and pointless. And you quietly stop showing up. No bueno. But here's the fix, and it's going to be simpler than you think. Step one is building what I call your exercise inner circle. The variations for each muscle group that challenge your muscles, that keep your joints feeling good, and that you'll actually want to do again. So how many should you list for each muscle group? I recommend having at least 3, but having 4 or 5 is even better. That gives you 2 to 6 months before seeing the same exercise variation in your workout routine again. Now you may be wondering why 2 to 6 months? Why that time frame? In that time, you'll see yourself progressing, lifting more weight or doing more reps for an exercise, so you know that you're making your body adapt. Now this is a great start, but it's also where most people stop. And they leave real progress on the table because of it. Because building your exercise inner circle, that's only half of it. The other half is knowing how to make those same exercises harder over time. Here's a type of variation no one thinks about for home workouts. And the good news, not only does it 2x to 10x the number of exercise variations you can do, it's based on driving better muscle definition results. Most people think more equipment equals more variety. But the real multiplier is not what you lift, it's how you lift it. Actually, before we get into that, I want to first cover nutrition. Because once your home workout exercise inner circle is set, nutrition becomes the thing that's going to determine whether you get your results or not. One of the most common nutrition pitfalls for busy guys is weekends. Win your weekends and keep making progress instead of falling off the rails because of a social event or a kid's birthday party. I've put together my weekend fat loss recovery game plan. It walks you through how to strategize, how to eat on the weekends, and how to recover after a rough weekend so that Monday morning, you're right back on track. It's the exact protocol I strategize and I coach with my one-to-one coaching clients. You can grab that free in the description. Now, where were we? Yes, exercise variation game changer. So rotating your 3 to 5 exercise variations for each muscle will drastically improve how fresh your home workouts feel. But because the exercises pretty much get performed the same way, there's still the potential that it starts to feel stale at some point. Again, you're in this working out at home thing for the long haul because you know it saves you time. So let's find a solution that keeps you seeing progress, because quitting after a few months instead of a few weeks still means that you don't achieve the full fat loss and muscle definition result that you want. Again, it's a simple fix, but compared to the last one, this one's going to feel like you unlocked a cheat code. And here's where it gets interesting. Use training methods strategically for variation. There are 5 of them that work perfectly for home workouts that I frequently use with my clients and with my own home workouts. What makes them powerful is that you can use any of them for any of the exercise variation you've already come up with in your exercise inner circle. So instead of only having 3 to 5 exercise variations per muscle group, you can have 15 to 25 exercise variations per muscle group. Talk about a lot more options. Let's walk through them quickly. The first ones I talk about are going to be a bit more beginner friendly, and the last one I talk about is for those of you who are more advanced to keep progress happening. So the first method is intentionally using a slower lowering phase for every exercise. Instead of lowering a weight for 1, maybe 2 seconds, you want to slow that down to 3 or 4 seconds every rep. Same exercise, but it's going to feel dramatically harder. Again, this is the easiest one to start with. Second, we have drop sets. Just in case you're not familiar, to do a drop set, when you finish your set, you put the weight down, pick up a slightly lighter weight, and start doing more reps immediately. This pushes past where you'd normally stop a set, which is exactly where the muscle definition gains happen. Third, we have 1.5 reps. Do a full rep, come halfway up, lower it back down, and then lift the weight all the way up. That's 1 rep. It sounds simple, but these are tough. Your muscles spend twice as long in the hardest part of the movement. The fourth method is using supersets. Pair 2 exercises done back to back with no rest in between. Usually exercises for opposing muscle groups, like one for the chest and one for the back muscles, are paired together. But for home workouts, we do this differently. We pair 2 exercises for the same muscle group and do them back to back, again with no rest. The first exercise is always the tougher of the 2 exercises. And then the second exercise typically feels pretty easy. So the fatigue from the first exercise is going to make that one more challenging than you're used to. The bottom line, your muscles work harder without you needing heavier weights. And then the fifth method is called myo reps. This is where you do a challenging set close to failure, rest for 5 seconds, pick the weights back up, do a few more reps, rest 5 more seconds, and do more reps again. This is the most advanced method of the 5. But once you're ready for it, it's incredibly challenging and efficient. But just a word of caution, don't use these for every single exercise in a workout. Pick 2 or 3 exercises max per workout so it doesn't drastically increase the workout time. You now have a new system for coming up with a much bigger list of exercise variations that work for your home workouts and your body. But all that won't matter for producing the fat loss and muscle definition results that you want unless you follow this workout principle. It's the difference between results you barely notice squinting when you look at a progress photo and progress that even your friends, your coworkers, that they would comment on. Here's the thing though, and this is important. Your body is incredibly good at adapting. Give it the same challenge long enough and it stops changing. The exercises start feeling easier, you stop feeling that muscle burn, and the progress in the mirror starts slowing down, right? That's not just boredom, that's your body telling you it's no longer being challenged enough to keep changing. And if the challenge isn't increasing, then neither are your results. Now, exercise variation helps with this, but varying your exercises alone isn't enough. You could rotate through 25 different exercise variations and still plateau if none of them are getting progressively harder over time. Here's the good news though. Getting your body to respond doesn't take a dramatic overhaul. It just takes one principle applied consistently. And honestly, once it clicks, it makes the fat loss and muscle definition results that you're after almost inevitable. The principle is called progressive overload. And here's what most people get wrong about it. They assume that it just means lifting heavier weights. But when you're training at home with limited equipment, you can't always go heavier. So here's the thing. Remember those 5 methods I just walked you through? Slower lowering phases, drop sets, 1.5 reps, supersets, and myo reps? Those are your progressive overload tools, but they're not the only ones. The other main way is rep progression, which is a lot more doable than increasing the weight you're lifting every single week. So that rep progression could look like this. Week 1, you get 8 reps for an exercise. And then week 2, you're pushing for 9 reps or 10 reps instead. That's the progression. Repeat it every week. That's progressive overload. And you can apply to any exercise in your rotation, whether you're using one of the 5 methods I've talked about in this video or not. That's the full system. Variation keeps you from getting bored and quitting. Progressive overload then gives your body a reason to keep adapting. That's how busy guys build visible muscle definition and actually drop the fat without a gym and without a ton of equipment at home and without reinventing their workout routine every couple of weeks. If you want a done-for-you version of this whole system, including the exercise variation, the progressive overload focus, all of it built in, I've got a free 4-week home workout program linked below in the description. No gym, just some free weights at home, and it's structured so that the workouts actually get harder as you get stronger, so your body continues adapting. Grab it, run it, and let me know how it goes.